Good morning, everyone. This morning we got a project to do. Earlier this week, we were loading manure and we blew out the end of this hydraulic cylinder on the skid loader. So the cap on the end of the cylinder must have got a crack and weakened it. You could tell it wasn't broken all the way just earlier this week, but yesterday we pulled it apart and got some parts ordered, and they came yesterday. And so we're gonna see if we can get the skid loader back together. We have to load some cattle later today, and we have a little bit of a temporary gate set up, so I was hoping to use this skid loader as a prop for the gate. So we're gonna see if we can get this cylinder put back together, and then we can have the skid loader for the rest of the week. You can see this cap. This cap threads on the end of the cylinder here, and it just broke. This is the cut that I made to take it off, but you can see, or maybe you can't see, but it's only a fresh crack, like right in here. It's not, there's just a little bit of rust in there, so it obviously must have been cracked for a little while and just decided to be done. So I got it all apart yesterday. We got our parts that came in the mail yesterday, and let's see if we can get this back together. When this cap like ripped off the end here, it kind of boogered these threads up a little bit. So we took a file and just cleaned up the threads with this little pointy file. And I got the cap to spin back on. I got a new cap and it spins on fine now. So we're gonna be able to reuse that housing. So I did have this new cap already here, and I thought that maybe we could put it back together, but when I got it apart, after I got that old cap off, I realized that these seals on the cylinder are all shot. Especially these guys are really bad. So we're gonna have to take this apart, put new seals on it, which is fine. So then we'll have a rebuilt cylinder when we put her back together. So we're gonna see if we can bust this nut off. Oh yeah. See, that O-ring was chewed up too. There's a whole bunch of seals in this guy. This is the plug that goes in the end of the cylinder housing, and this is the piston of the cylinder that rides on the end of the rod here. So they sent a new seal kit and it has all these parts in it. So let's see if we can get it figured out. So it looks like, I think this cylinder must have been rebuilt before, and when they did it, they didn't use the Gale Manitou parts, they just used some maybe generic parts, because the parts that are in here are all black, and the kit that we got, they're all different colors. So we'll have to figure out which parts go where. These parts are kind of cold. I wonder if I should try to warm them up a little bit. Oh, that's much better. Got that guy, and then this guy is like split. Keep those ones separate. Here's our new one. All right, that's all the ones, the seals for that one. This little ring is gonna go right in there. All right, that guy's done. Now, onto this guy. This one has seals on the outside and seals down on the inside. So we're gonna have to see if we can dig those seals out. I think that's the blue one. Okay. Now this one is the tricky one. It's down inside here. There we go. Let's come out. There we go. Got it. All right, let's get this cleaned up a little bit and then we'll put the new seals in. All right, so it's obviously important which way these things go in. So this is the end cap, so the rod goes through here. So this internal seal is the hydraulic seal. So this is the one that's the hydraulic oil is pushing against. So this flange wants to go towards the should go towards the inside so that the pressure on the inside actually squeezes the flange down onto the rod. If it were the other way, the pressure would actually push through and open it up. So we're gonna stick this guy in there like this. The outside one is the other way because that's actually trying to keep things out. So I just remember this being kind of a trick to get this guy in here. It's a very small, it's a pretty deep channel in there, and the seal is pretty thick. You got to kind of squish it down in there. And then you got to get it going into the groove. It's just down in there so that it can, oh, there it goes. Perfect. Okay, now this guy goes in out here. No problem. All right, there's the two inside ones. And then these outside guys, there's an O-ring and then a backer. So the O-ring is one that's really shot. And this backer is to the flange side. So here's our new guys. That. Perfect. Okay, I think we're all set to go back together. All right, now we don't want to forget our new cap because I've done that before. Get it all put together and realize that the cap wasn't on there. So we'll just get that guy up there. So this guy goes on here. This is our cap. That. Put a little bit of Loctite on there. Certainly don't want this nut to come off inside there. I got the other end of this rod in that other vise on the other table there, so that works out good to hold this thing in place. Okay. Now I think we're all set to go back into the housing. Go. Little tight spot there. Doesn't really need to be super tight as long as it's clamping against, because the seals are all inside there. So there's nothing really that this cap does except to hold that plug in there from popping out. So cinch that up. We'll put our set screw in there. There's a little set screw right here. And then we're good on that cylinder. This kit comes with this wee little plastic disc, and I always wonder what it was, but pretty sure you're supposed to stick it in there first, and then the set screw pinches down on that, and it doesn't booger up your threads. Found it. This set screw is just to keep this thing from spinning off. So there's one more piece we're gonna do. This end of the cylinder has these bushings, and you can see that it's shot. So it's like a composite, like a plastic bushing. So we're gonna knock these old bushings out and put some new ones in before we put it back on the loader. That's what the new one should look like. Unfortunately, we're doing this a little bit too late, and this eyelet on the cylinder is worn a little bit on that one side because, as you could see, we were obviously wore through this all the way. This one wasn't through all the way, but this one was, so. Anyway, we'll put the new ones in and hope for the best. Okay, ready to put back on. Put a little paint on that while I was at it. All right, we got that thing all put back together. And while we're in here, I'm gonna go ahead and rebuild the other cylinder also. I got two kits here. That way we're starting back with equal cylinders. So we're gonna do that quick, then we'll get this thing back out of here. Back together now. I had to go backwards just a little bit because when I took the second cylinder apart, I realized that there was another seal that was underneath the other seal. And when I put the first cylinder together, I'm not sure if that got destroyed or what, but it wasn't there. And so I didn't think about putting the new one in. I did see that there was an extra one in the packet and thought maybe that's for something else. I don't know, but very important piece. It's actually it's an O-ring that sits underneath the seal that pushes the seal up against the housing. So without that down there, there's no pressure pushing the seal against the housing. So it would have been leaking or bypassing internally, not leaking externally. But at any rate, we figured it out when we did the second one. So I took the first one back apart and put that in there. Everything went back together fine. So now we're all set, ready to go. Let's get this thing out of here. We've got quite a change of weather this week. Last week it was blowing and snowing and freezing cold, and this week it's supposed to be like 50 or even 60 by the end of the week. So the beginning of the week we were in like the single digits, and the end of the week we're 60 degrees. So flip-flopping makes a little bit of a mess. Certainly makes things muddy, but it's also kind of hard on the cattle to flip-flop weather like that. So hopefully we can make it through, but it's gonna be t-shirt weather by the end of the week. All right, we're down here to load this cattle. We're gonna park the skid loader in front of this temporary gate. I'll show you. Hopefully it holds up. We'll see. So as you can see, this building that used to be here is not here anymore. Hip, hip, hip. There we go. Hey guys, hip, 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 hip. There we go. Hip, hip, hip.
A shed there is better.
I know. I need like a solid wall there. Oh, there they go.
As they all go.
Hey guys, hip, 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 hip. Another group. Worked pretty good. It's not budging at all with the skid loader there, so I think we're gonna be good. It's 77 head, so hey, hey.
Bring that gate. Bring that
Yep.
gate.
Hey guys, hey. Hey guys. Hip, hip, hip.
Come on, boys.
Hip, hip. Yeah.
And feeder cattle prices are nothing good. Why should I buy expensive feeder cattle 9 weeks?
Right. Hip. Hey guys, hey, 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 hey. Hey guys, hey. All right, so we're just gonna take that one load out today, and that went really good. Our fencing worked out fine here, but yeah, I wasn't sure. So this used to be a building here, if you remember from previous videos, but the owner of the property felt like we should just take it down because it was in pretty rough shape. So they took it out, but it was also part of the wall that kept this pen that we would load against. So we had to figure something out. So that's why we have these temporary gates in here. Eventually we're gonna put weld these gates fast in here, but they weren't sure the concrete was quite ready for that yet. So we did this, worked out fine. So I'm gonna fix up this other gate here a little bit while we're down here, and then we'll do a little more cleanup work here, but that's it for the day down here. That looks good. So this post is really rotten, and I think that's why the lags got stripped out, but we shoved another post down inside the rotten post, and so now we have something to bite into again. So I think that's gonna hold it good. That'll be great. grab the fork here so we can move that bale, our bale feeder, into that first pen. We thought there was a group coming today, but I misunderstood. So the group is actually coming the beginning of next week. So we have that pen all ready and all bedded up, but we need to move this hay rack in yet, and then we'll be ready for them to come next week. Maybe. There you go. Yeah, you got it. Should we put it down there more? That's good. All right, it's early morning and we've got to get this bin ready to go because today we're supposed to get our feed delivery and we really wanted to put it into this bin, but the bin's not ready yet. So I got to get this bottom hopper bolted on, and we got to get at least the slide put on, and then that'll buy us a little bit of time that we can get the auger put in, hopefully later today. But it's raining and not ideal for doing this job, but I guess we do what we got to do. So let's get this thing put on, and then we'll get ready for some feed. So I'm gonna try to get as many started as I can, but not all the holes line up. So we'll have to drill some out, but I think I can get a lot of them started a while. All right, we got all the ones that I can get that are lining up already, so we're gonna have to drill the rest out a little bit. All right, we got all the bolts started. All right, we're on the last part. You can see it's getting light out here, but we have to take this bottom. We're gonna put a new slide on here, and I got most of the bolts out, but some of them were too rusty. So we're cutting them off. This is the last one. Got it. All right. Okay, we're soaking wet, but we got that done. The bottom of the hopper's bolted on, and the chute where the tube comes into is on. So we're all set for getting feed today. because the slide's in there, we can close the slide and we can work on the auger later. So I'm not sure what time this feed's coming, but we're ready now and we'll put the auger in a little later. All right, well, so far so good. The feed truck came and filled that bin today, so the bin is now full, but we have no means to get it out of the bin yet. So we need to take down the auger and the drive unit from in here at the old feed room and move it down there. So me and the boys are gonna see if we can get this thing pulled out of here. All right, so there's the old drive unit and the auger runs out. So we'll pull this down and move it over.
What if this auger is too rusted out?
We'll have to get a little. What's going on here?
What's the issue?
Okay, you got it? Go. Okay. Let's just set it on the ground here. Let me see if I can get down here. Okay.
Heavy?
But so there's this little set screw in here that holds the flex auger to the drive unit. So we're trying to get that thing loose, but it's coming, so that's good. Not rusted fast. The other end of this auger was like completely rusted into one big chunk, one big solid chunk. I couldn't get anything apart, so we had to get a new one of those, but looks like this is working out. Hopefully this is...
Where's the end of it?
Oh, look, it was fixed there once before. I think this end is hopefully good. What, just that white section of...
Yep.
White? We're gonna bore sight it through a hole down here. This little nest here was from this morning. I was laying in that, so I was trying not to get wet. Okay, put your pen up there. Okay, go up, up, to the right, up. Now up just a touch more. Down a little bit. Okay, make a mark right there. Up a little bit. Up a little bit. Okay, to the right. To the right. To the right. Down. Make a mark right there.
Very even.
Okay, so it's probably... Now, let's see. We gotta shrink it down. Looks pretty close, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Different spot because of the angle.
Hopefully it doesn't bust out.
Huh?
Start pushing down the brick. We'll hit it hard.
Wow.
Tough. You think it is solid?
I don't know. No, but I mean, if they laid the blocks and then they poured it full of concrete.
Oh, that's a good point. Here you go, take the big slugs to it.
We might need to see to keep working it through like that. You wanna grab? I'm excited about this table. Look at this thing. All made from scraps that I found in our wood pile. So most people throw this kind of stuff away, but we don't throw that away here because someday it turns into tables like this. Now, I know that you need to be careful that you don't get too much piled up, but pieces like this are valuable to me because of future vision of tables like this. So, table. All right, I'm super excited about this because this project is coming together and we're almost ready to try it for the first time. Everything is going pretty good. And the most exciting thing about this is that we've almost entirely used stuff that we already had here at the farm. We had this bin sitting here. We had to buy a couple parts to replace the rusty stuff on the bin, but other than that, we've pretty much all had it here. We had to buy a little bit of electrical stuff. We wired in a new outlet there with a switch, and I had to run and get a breaker this morning. We're almost ready to try it. We're gonna set the scale up here real quick. That's better.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, put your bucket on there. Let's try it. Oh yeah! Look at that. All right, we did it. We're filling buckets.